Wait, afford us the opportunity. See, I said yesterday that there's a way that judges speak. Most of it I don't understand, but I was watching it and reading what was happening. But I must admit it was quite long and boring.
Yeah. That's why I have to ask you a question. Can't they write it, give it to us to read, those of us that are interested in reading 12 hours of proceedings, to read by ourselves? Then they do it in 2 hours. They are
show us like the conclusion, the summary.
So you that you are interested in the 12 hours, go and read it. You that you are not.
That's what the guy who objected.
Wait. This is Nigerians. You. It's a lie. What did they write? As long as you not hear it from their mouth, you say these people, they went and reprinted. Yeah, they doctored it. They reprinted something else.
The answer.
That was not what they said in court. Why did we broadcast it? Never used to be. It was demanded. Nigerians demanded that it be broadcast. So that you can see it.
Can't do that. That's to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
What? The thing you now know the faces of all the witnesses. That would be unfair.
Well, it was good. Now you understand what it takes, how long it takes. You know that not everything is usually about trying to hoodwink somebody or change something.
We'll still come to the intricacies of the tribunal, but I'd like to just hear your observation. I mean, I saw. I don't know. I think I'm the only person that saw this part of this whole thing. The lawyers at the front there, I think is maybe the LP lawyers. They were really hungry, and the guy. There's a lady and a guy next to it. So he had biscuits. And he offered her biscuit. And as he offered her the biscuit, she realized that the camera is on. She now pushed it down. Don't come and embarrass us here now. She now put the biscuit under the table. Obviously, wasn't picking one or two. You know, but when she was about to put it in her mouth, the camera took it away. I was like, so angry. Didn't they have like a recess? No, they probably had break time. They put on camera. And she pushed his hand down. We don't embarrass us here.
The reason the camera didn't stay was they didn't want to embarrass them.
Of course.
Because the cameraman was hungry.
So the thing is, it looked Herculean for us because it's not our thing, right? But for lawyers and judges, that's all they prepare for. That's their life.
Sending me my text.
Hail her.
They find another profession.
You know, that's their job. That's what they are there for, and that's their time to shine. So they must listen, even when the other parties are not really getting the wins. They will be there to listen, because also remember that if they have to go for an appeal, some of the things they hear would also be what they would, pile up to do their appeal. So it's their thing, it's their job. We respect them for that. But you cannot expect me, an ordinary citizen, to sit down for 12 hours. By the time they release the proceedings and everything, I will get the summary. That works for me. And the fact that
gloating. Please gloat respectfully.
Do we need to gloat?
Exactly.
We don't gloat.
It's our Congress together.
Democracy won, not you.
Not you. Not your party.
Exactly.
Not your party. And the fact also that they had to focus on the facts and evidence. So this is not about prejudice. This is not about what we think should be. This is not the ideal. It's about, are you able to defend your case? Okay, in this one, what did you present? What did you bring? It's fact. We need to begin to work with
I like where you're taking us to BNBC, because I think what I got from this entire proceeding, which I'll come to ladies, is I think now, aside from the emotional part of the elections, we need to see how important it is to gather proper evidence.
Yes, so
it's not about saying, come and vote, just pose and take picture. No, we need to educate our electorate. How do we responsibly get evidence that is tenable in court? Who can explain to us what is right? What should have been done better? One of the issues LP had, they didn't have enough agents in polling units to have evidences of it. You don't have anybody to have it. So it was quite painful, because I was looking for a very nice and robust argument that would strengthen our democracy. But with this, I was even embarrassed when I saw some of these things.
Yeah, they said a lot of things were based on hearsay.
Yeah.
Of course, the tribunal needed much more than that to go on. But for me, I was going to say also, it gave me a better appreciation for our judiciary.
Yeah.
To even see the way the lawyers conducted themselves before the judges. I mean, do you remember a particular lawyer that stood up and said he was confused and interrupted the judge. And they said to him, you know, first of all, I think it was an insult to them, first of all, that they are passing judgment and then you stand up to interrupt them. And then eventually, he seemed so afraid when they were talking to him. He was like, I'm not confused anymore. I'm like, see how
somebody's father. Somebody's father.
You know, the judge. So this process, we see them too much. We call them out anyhow. We should be careful, though. It's highly respectable and respectful profession. So we commend you to see the hours that they spent, even just sitting there through the tiredness. And
did you see? Was there any business?
Did you see the chief counsel for LP, the chief counsel Michael Zekome? Those ones don't stand up. I don't remember seeing Mike standing up for 1 second. And even there's some people who did not. They sat through it. I mean, I watched most of it. I only missed about 3 hours because from a party I went to. But I sat, I watched it, and I saw these people. They don't stand up. Even Kazim Shettim, the vice president, he also did not sleep. I saw him. He stood up eventually at some point, but he was there alert. His eyes were wide open.
But should we call out the camera?
That's content.
If you are sleeping, you are sleeping.
I just feel that if I'm the cameraman and I see someone dozing off, I will quickly take it.
Okay, let me go.
If I was the cameraman, if that person sleeping, go.
That's why you're not the cameraman. That's why you're not the cameraman. Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views on it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Ask questions if I want to ask questions. And if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just... I may even tell you I saw this coming.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you.
50,000 naira and loads of airtime daily in the Wow Wash and Win Millions promo.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about yesterday's. In the afternoon, I didn't see much people sleeping. The sleeping happened much earlier in the day, and I think it's probably they had breakfast. When you have a heavy breakfast, knowing that you guys need a lot of energy for the whole day, so they went in there fed. So it's possible that was what caused the sleeping, because by afternoon everybody was awake and alert towards the day. So I think that's probably what caused the sleeping.
No.
Yes,
I watched it in the night. The guy I saw sleeping was in the night with one woman like this. When they woke up, she was just, it was in the night. I saw them sleeping. I didn't watch it.
There was a lady that was nodding. She was nodding like she was, I'm listening to what you're saying. But we could see that she was just
But there are two things that I think that we've not touched on. And as regards observation, the cameras didn't face the judges.
That's what I was asking. We didn't face the judges.
Yeah, because I think that's also maybe, I don't know if that was intentional, because I saw the cameraman sitting on the floor and they're facing the crowd or the audience, not the actual judges. I'm not sure why that was. Probably
I think there are codes of conduct for that sort of profession. There's a way they give them their respect, So putting the judges in, normally they would have refused this to be even transmitted live, but they had to allow because of the peculiarity of the Nigerian problem, yes. But then facing the judges, making them some sort of celebrities, not in their... I just believe it's not what they would prefer, especially with their code of conduct. And I know that even back in school when you're studying law, there's a way they separate themselves from the regular students. There are some things they cannot be caught doing. There are some colors they cannot be caught wearing. You understand? So it's something that I believe is part of what they do to protect the sanctity of that.
Let me take a few comments. I have this from Otumba Karim. Says that, good morning, ladies. Yesterday's judgment was epoch-making. Aside Obafemi Awolowo's treason trial, it was the longest. It was deep, factual, down to earth, and energy sapping. Kudos to the learned jurists. Most importantly, let me single out the lady jurist. She was unapologetic, factual, and spared no one. Yeah. She called the spade by its name. The icing on the cake was the live telecast that in a way served many purposes, very educative for those who wish to learn, remove doubts and half-truths, and douse tension in the land. So do you agree that it doused tension? You know, because, you know, people thought that once you hear the judgment, there might be rioting and protest out there. That's why we had security spread across. But I think the fact that the judgment was quite detailed, whether every layman could understand the reasoning behind each judgment, like it was laid out in plain terms that you that are even listening, that want to go and protest outside, you just think that, are you sure they don't have evidence? Are you sure that the witnesses, out of 13, only 3 were telling, and even the 3 self, you know, you are now thinking, for me to go and protest, let me be sure I know what I'm protesting, because it made it very crystal clear to what we are dealing with here.
Yes, that helped, definitely. Because you know that many of us, we get off stories from each other and from social media, and we know as human beings, we embellish some, we exaggerate a bit.
Yes.
But with the courts or at the tribunal, you heard the facts. And you had the lawyers that were involved in pleading the case from the get-go, all seated there. So they were also aware of, you know, what was being read. Accept it, you know. So it dealt the tension for so many people who did not know for sure what what the facts were. Now you listen for yourself. You know, there's always something. When you listen to something for yourself, you now get context, and you're like, and I was angry before. Now I'm not, you know. Okay, now I get it. Well, there was that, but then there's also the fact that there are people who are strong loyalists, die-hard of justice.
That's where what I need to ask, because from what you're saying, you watched it, I didn't.
Yeah, most of it.
Everything they said made everything seem crystal clear to you. But the lawyers are still saying no.
Yeah.
They are going to challenge it.
Absolutely.
So if they are going to challenge it, what you heard and what they heard, was it different?
No. We'll come to that in a second. Let me take this call. Aya's been holding from first time. Good morning, Ayo. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Morayo, and the beautiful ladies in the studio.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
I'm the tennis player. I called once before.
It's okay. Welcome
I just want to congratulate President Tinubu, because he is a product of my university. I went to Chicago State University. I played lawn tennis for Chicago State University. I was a tennis captain. So on behalf of those of us around that went there to Chicago State University, I say congratulations to President Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
All right, thank you, sir.
So I wanted to respond to YK to say the difference between the lawyers who want to go back and appeal the case and us is that nobody's paying us for anything. We are now making decisions, informed decisions based on the facts presented and explained to us, right? But the lawyers have a job to do. They are paid to defend their clients. They will tell you that even if a lawyer knows that this person is a thief, as long as the person is, paying, this is a client I have to defend, you will find all the loopholes. You will find it. However, you will listen to things said and not said. You will see beyond what is being presented just because you have a strong case and you are there to defend your client. So I will not use the lawyers to say, they have failed in defending their clients if they don't go back.
In addition to that, the Constitution is mostly about interpretation. So if I feel that the judges in the tribunal did not properly interpret it based on my petition, I can take it to the Supreme Court for a better interpretation. So for example, you're saying that INEC is independent and it's their discretion to choose how they plan to collate. It can be manual or you can through IRF. That's their own interpretation. The Supreme Court can think otherwise. That, you know what, because you've already said it, that you're going to use electronic, it means that you must be held to that. So there are different interpretations. Depends. So it is within their own right to look for, to go to the Supreme Court, and we'll see how that goes. I think I have a caller. Good morning, are you there? Ade calling from London, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, I'm calling from...
This show, Ade.
Actually, I've been trying to contribute to the program for the past 2 years when I was in the UK and tried, but unfortunately I couldn't. I think what happened yesterday was, for me, it was an eye-opener to everybody, and it shows that because I've been following a lot of comments on the social media, and what it shows to me that Nigeria is sharply divided along religious, ethnic, and other primordial sentiments. If we are to be rational with the case yesterday, you discover that the lawyers on the side of the Labour Party and the PDP have not really done their homework very well. And if you look at the ruling, the ruling of the judges, you see that they were so detailed. For every statement, they cited a lot of, cases, a lot of laws to back it up. So as far as I'm concerned, I think they are saying that they want to go to the Supreme Court is just a waste of exercise, because the rulings they gave yesterday was very detailed, very detailed for me. And I think my advice for the parties is just to go back and start preparing for 2027. Thank you.
I read somewhere that one of the witnesses had downloaded evidence from Amazon, stuff like I'm thinking, this is a tribunal that you need hard evidences, something that you can pick, this is what happened, and you have pictures evidence, not something you just put online. So, as I said, I really was looking forward to a robust hearing that, these are the facts that were presented, and based on that, either way, I really wanted, but as I said, I was personally disappointed. I really hope that maybe the Supreme Court can have a better, a different interpretation. We'll see how that goes. But let me go on a break. We'll bring in a lawyer, because we're just gisting about our observations. I also observed we didn't really have any southeastern judge in the list.
That's
right. Is that true? I thought I observed. So, if it's for the optics, it would be nice to have somebody from the southeast at least represented.
You have to get to that point.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's you can't
get from a pool.
Yeah.
So you have to have qualified.
So it's who you already have within that pool.
Yeah, I think so.
When the lawyer comes,
we'll find out.
We'll find out when the lawyer. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our guest who's a lawyer and probably can shed more light on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So,
come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's Your View. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on,
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, my day.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
Thanks for staying with us. Joining the conversation concerning the tribunal with the ladies is Barrister Kabir Akingbolu. Welcome to the show, sir. He's a lawyer, and I know that you've been on our show a few times. We like it when you come around. And yesterday, we're just talking about the optics, the observations, and we'd like to come to you. What are your own thoughts on the entire proceedings? 12 hours? For us, it was like, what are your own thoughts?
Well, just like some people have observed, and correctly too, in my view, that it's a watershed, or it's a kind of epoch-making, judicial activism in Nigeria. And, there have been arguments for, and there have been arguments against. Oh, why was it that they didn't allow live broadcast, and they allow live broadcast for the judgment and all that? But when you look at it very well, anything going on in court, nobody has the right to comment for or against. And when they allow live broadcast, there is no how they will not say, that witness did very well. Why is it that the lawyer was pushing him? Why is it that the judge did not answer the question? Why is it that the judge is this and is that? They will have given the judgment even before the end of this thing. And these comments are capable of prejudicing the minds of the judges negatively or otherwise. So it is not good for anybody to allow it to be in the public glare. You see, a lot of public interest litigations have occurred in the country. They won't allow, there will be serious problem if they allow. In fact, they may not be able to complete the sitting. So this is one aspect of it. And again, when you look at the industry put into the stuff, you find out that the judges were trying to wash off their hands like a Pontius Pilate. That, we have done our own, we are just doing it. And if you look at the Statue of Liberty, we call it, that lady of justice, blind. Blind with a sword, with a scale. Once he holds the scale and one person's own is higher, whether it is his brother or not, she's not seen. All he needs to do is to use the axe or whatever they to cut. So this is one of the things. And when you look at it very well, you will see that it is so objective. And let's be objective here. We are here now in Lagos. If somebody now comes to say, in Ekiti, somebody is doing this, we are not there. He might have polished it. Some of us don't know many things when we begin to cut newspaper, because newspapers cutting, you go and certify, you take it to National Library and all that. It counts for nothing in court of law, in any case at all. You understand? Do you know why? In fact, in one case, justice, and when you see the reasoning, you see that the judges think like angels. Justice Begore, in one case, I think Gafar and Governor Kwara said that this newspaper, why newspaper will not be allowed in court is this. The analysis of journalist A will be different from the analysis of journalist B on the same event that happened at the same time, because they are human beings too. So these are some of the intricacies. And Lord Dennis said, no judge worth his salt will be carried away by what is written in newspaper. And if you look at the case of Buhari and INEC, incidentally I was involved, the presidential election, Justice Nikitobi of blessed memory said, the judges of this court have become object of criticism in recent time, and that he could remember vividly that one of the antagonists in this court now, or one of the petitioners or appellant, has benefited positively from the judgment of this court in recent time. When Obasanjo just sacked Atiku, he went to court and they said, no, you can't sack him. Judiciary will be good to him then. But when it is against us, it is no longer good. It shouldn't be the way. We should also respect the judiciary. And let me tell you, even in America, the justices give judgment, or they will give judgment at times, and people will not be happy with it. A classical example is the case of O.J. Simpson and the people, where everybody believed that that man killed his girlfriend and the wife, but the judges said no, that he is not the one. You understand? It got to a stage that the judgment nearly tore the judgment nearly tore America apart, and the president had to come on national TV and say, please, the Supreme Court of our land has spoken. Whether we like it or not, we have to respect it, and we have to abide by it, and that is it. And I was, it dropped in that time, when YK was talking that, they should not be wearing this suit and all that. This suit is not our culture. Judicial system that we are using now is not our culture. We should go to ballet. And the KBACs, as long as we have contract with any company or with the government, we can't go to our obas and trust their own judgment. We shouldn't. If we are saying we are going by the English way, we should also abide by that English way. In America, they say, okay, the jersey part of it, they are still wearing gown. It's only that they don't put on wig. They still put everything down. You understand? Occasionally, the judges can use their discretion and say, oh, the weather is very hot, gentlemen, put down your wig. It happens at times. You understand? So, in Nigeria, it happens. The judge will say, and let me tell you, there have been many movements to say, oh, let's stop wearing this. We inherited it from Britain. Britain is no longer using it and all that. But let me tell you, go and tell a local man in the village, it is that wig and gown that make him to want to read law. Maybe.
All right, let me get a few questions for you.
You see doctors wear their own uniform when they want to carry on surgery, green or something in some cases, white in some cases. No, why do we not say?
The reason for that is different.
Yeah.
The reason for that is different.
I would like to know, ma.
The reason, because they need to be loose. So they wear those green so that they're not, nothing is hindering.
But they will not wear black.
And
it's always green or white.
So
there is a culture.
See their stains or...
So you can see their stains. But your own, okay, can you tell me why it's black?
Yeah, you see, we wouldn't know because it's a culture that we inherited. We inherited the judicial system.
And what we are saying...
Can it be reviewed?
Can it be reviewed?
Of course it can be reviewed. Yeah. It's over time. Yeah. You understand?
Let me get a few questions in for you.
Yeah, so on a lighter note, so, you know, we're wondering why the faces of the judges were not shown. Yes, and I would like you to just give our own opinion.
Yes, you see, judges, once you become a judge, you have become a sort of angel. You are no longer the ordinary human being. When Nigeria was good, you can never see a judge in parties. In fact, as a lawyer, even till today it happens that you are coming on the road, you understand, you see a judge, you have to run. You have to run. You can't just meet and be talking. I remember doing an election president sometime in 2019, and when I got to the mosque on a Friday, I met one of the judges. He said, "Salam alaikum." He shook hands with me. Immediately, I disappeared. You understand? Several years after when we met, he said, so there I met you, and I knew you intentionally ran away from me. I said, yes, because if I don't run, if the opposition party should snap our pictures, there is problem. You understand? I have seen a situation that, you know, a judge went to a birthday party of someone. About 15 years after, the father of that person has a case before him, and the senior lawyer just said, my lord, we need to see in chambers. When they got to the chamber, he just brought out the picture. This is the picture of you and this man's daughter. He said, but I've never met the man. The man said, what? There's likelihood, what the court law says is not that, it's not bias, likelihood of it. Once there's likelihood of bias, you recluse yourself. Wow. He wanted to make it, the lawyer said, I don't want to blow it in the open court. And the man recluse immediately. So there are a lot of intricacies involved. Yeah. You can't show the judges. Because one, some people don't know them. Maybe they have said something you don't like. You don't mean that. They also go out socially at night or something. This is the judge of that night. And you understand? They can be targeted. I have seen a situation, a younger brother of mine who is a magistrate, he went to a joint to enjoy himself at night. He went to a very dark place. All of a sudden, somebody brought 2 bottles of beer and said, that man over there said I should give you. By the time he looked at him, he was a man who is still standing trial before him. The guy just stay here. He left. So that's why you see security with them and all that. It is a very dangerous job.
Right. Get it. It's important to know the why.
Yeah. So my own question, sorry, I have to ask this one very fast. The trial was, the judgment was so long for lay people like us. It was too long, 12 hours. Yes. Could it have been shorter, one, so that they all fall asleep. Then the lawyers that were sleeping inside the Kinenko.
If under the law, it's contempt of court.
To be sleeping?
Yes.
How did they
It's an offense. You understand? Because it's a political matter. I've been in court. You can't read newspaper in court. You see, in fact, you can't put your handbag on the table in court. It's not allowed. It's a place for really serious business. You cannot just be eating granola. I saw somebody eating granola.
Yeah, biscuits.
Okay,
I was biscuits. I saw.
They were hungry.
You understand? Yes, they are hungry. It's understandable. Do you know? It has happened to me. I have seen days that I don't sleep for good 4 days. Not that I sleep for 1 minute, though. Because you have election matters, you must finish within a specified time, and there is no time. You have a lot to achieve.
Talking about
and
that,
now,
sorry.
When you talk, some people are, they have criticized the lawyers, the this and that. It is difficult. Sometimes when you see a bad case, we used to tell our client, this is not a good case. Lawyer, is there nothing we can do? You tell him 50-50, you say, but let us go and try. Every time you say 70-30 is bad. You say, lawyer, they will tell me that I am a timid person. Yes. And as I have been in that for close to 2 decades. I've been involved in serious election petition matter and all that. Let me tell you, there are 4 reasons why people file petitions. People who are really fighting to win, they are less than 5%. Many of them know they cannot win, but they want to me, I am not a pushover. Or I can't get it, I will give him trouble, I will not let him enjoy. Then again, majorly, they file election petition cases to keep their followers. We will collect it tomorrow. We will collect it tomorrow. We will collect it tomorrow. Until, by the time the 10 months lapse, you can no longer go to the people. After the election, if you realign and say, oh, I'm not following A party, I'm going to B party, they will welcome you very well. But by the time you go to court and you are still with A party, and A party are now lost after 10 from the High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court, you are now coming back, they say, no, you are not part of us. So you will now remain there for the next 4 years when they are rearranging their district. So this is the reason. Major, how many election petitions succeed on the average? It's less than 2%. Yes. I can tell you. But a lot of billions are wasted everywhere. Yeah. And again, how do you win an election petition, sir? We have 36 states in Nigeria, including FCT now, 37. We have 176,000 polling units, 676 and thereabout. Each of the polling units is the source from where the results go. It's the pyramid from the unit to the ward, to the local government, to the state, to the federal district and collation. So there are 5 stages of every election. Now, somebody has witnessed thuggery, somebody snatching ballot paper in so place. You now want to, in Kogi for instance, you now want to use somebody who is in Lagos and they told him what happened, to come and narrate it. If they say, what is the color of the man that snatched the ballot paper? Will he be able to say? How tall is he? Will he be able to say? How will the court now say, because he has written down something, he has a witness statement, and they'll say, oh, there is a witness from Lagos who said he had it too. The evidence has said, if a fact is to be proved, in life 14, if it's a fact of something that can be perceived, it must be the evidence of somebody who perceived it. If it is something that can be seen, it must be the evidence of somebody who saw it. If it's the evidence of something that can be smelled, it must be the evidence of somebody who smelled it. If it's something that must be felt physically, it must be the evidence of somebody who feels physically. If a medical doctor writes a medical report, and I say, okay, this person has a day, is this, it has been 4 years, or this, that. As a medical doctor, maybe he has died. You want to tender it, or you were sick on the day of the day. You can't tender it. If you want to tender it, you will now diagnose that person again. But what he has found out can be a guide to you. You now do your own report. Yeah. You understand?
There are plenty of questions for you. Go ahead, man. Okay, I was quite what they said concerning the European observation report. Yes. Why was inadmissible?
Yes.
What I thought was a bit technical.
It's not.
What was the real issue?
Yes. Now it's not like what we are doing now. This is our program.
Yes.
If somebody wants to tender it, you cannot. It is the cameraman who uses camera to view us. You don't even know how the camera works. Your own is to present. You understand? But when it comes to the technical aspect, he is the one that helps the camera. What type of camera? What is the range it can go? How bright is the picture? Yeah. Is it possible for the tone of voice to be doctored and manipulated and all that? Those are the technical questions which you, as a broadcaster organizer, may not be able to answer. I'm a lawyer, I don't know anything about medicine. You understand, though, when we are medical, you go and do research. You to cross-examine the witnesses. So these are the issues. And out of all these things, for instance, let's go to PDP. PDP had 27 witnesses. How do you want to prove election in all those polling units that you are alleging? LP had only 30 witnesses. 10 were said to be competent and all that for good reasons and so on and so forth. Now, it is not possible to prove this. In fact, in the case of Buhari and Obasanjo, I think part 941, Patatolanu of blessed memory said, to win an election petition is an Herculean task. He said, in fact, the 2007 presidential election is 2003 presidential election is like the gory sight of Macbeth. In Macbeth Shakespeare, of Duncan in Macbeth Shakespeare. He said, but he described that election. Anybody who has read that Macbeth Shakespeare, now, despite describing it, because that description is showing that there was blood on the face of Duncan when he showed up at the banquet, very terrifying. The Justice of the Supreme Court said the election was horrifying. However, he could not nullify it. He said to win an election it's a Herculean task. And now, he said to win a presidential election petition in Nigeria, no petitioner needs less than 2,500 witnesses. Are you with me? Yeah. So how can you now, we also know it, even in Lagos State, man, you cannot win a governorship election by 27 witnesses. So it's not just possible. Because we are talking, they are not magicians. There's one case, Justice, he said, courts are not like a magician or the oracle at Ife. That we just wake up and pronounce another Oba in succession of a dead Oba. That this case cried to high heaven for admissible evidence. So when you don't have evidence, there is nothing the court can just do. Hey. I can tell you very well, from what we have seen yesterday, there were times, even though you are a lawyer or you are a judge or anybody anywhere, want to do any underhanded dealing and all that, when you see that the facts are naked, you will be able to deliver. Look at Edo State. The governor was removed, another one was installed in Ekiti State, in Osun State, in Enugu, so many other states. So, it is practical fact.
Okay, Mariam.
So, we hear that that LP and or PDP would be appealing this and going further. So, even though, a lot of us said we understood, it seemed clear. To them, it may not seem clear that there's still some things that, they are challenging. Is it that it's not that clear, or what is this?
Well, you see, it's a constitutional right. Yeah. 5 justices have, done their own bit. At the Supreme Court, 7 justices of the Supreme Court who are more senior to these people will do their own bit. And even if we look at it very well, some of us who have read newspapers before, during, and after the election, we feel that what some of the political parties were talking about rigging, about this, about manipulation and all that, they didn't present it before the court. Rather, they let the meat of the issue, they are following the bone. They are talking about forgery, they are talking about forfeiture, they are talking about drugs, they are talking about certificate, non-qualification. Those won't play a major role in what they are alleging before the tribunal. So it is somehow funny. If you are alleging that somebody has rigged you out, it has to do with figure. They can't just proclaim you and say you are the winner. You must say, okay, in so-so state, I scored 15,000, they gave me 13. This 2,000, where was it? Prove it by evidence. The court will give it to you. That is my thinking. And when you look at it, without any apology to anybody, I think after June 12th, this is the best election that has been conducted in Nigeria. Anybody may not like it, but the truth is clear. In Enugu State, APC have more than 250,000 members. They only score 4,000. In Anambra State, they scored less than 10,000. Less than 1% of what Peter Obi scored. But yet, those elections were free and fair there. In Lagos, he beat APC to the game. In Akastina, APC lost. In so many other states, in Plateau State, APC lost. But it was not free in the state where they lost.
Okay, let me take this call.
Good losers.
Oluwatosin, thanks for calling. You're live.
Had to be.
Yeah, Oluwatosin, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, this is good morning, Anthony.
I can't hear you. Go ahead, please.
I said good morning. My contribution this morning is my sister said something about a port. That minister went to the port authority and see a lot of cargo not being cleared.
It wasn't a paper review, wasn't it? We didn't discuss it. We were just talking about the papers.
Yeah, I just want to have something about that.
Okay.
People don't just leave their goods in the port. It's because, one, the increment affects a lot. But I don't see people travel out of the country, go and bring in things, and decide to leave it in the port. That is number one thing I want to contribute this month. And number two, yesterday and day for yesterday was strike. Now, we resume strike today unfailingly in my place of work because I'm a clearing agent. I'm a court user. Grimages now refuse to reduce that 2 days for us. We are asking us to pay that additional payment of 2 days we didn't work. Which they should also look into this situation that this is a strike, it's national strike.
We're not too sure.
Thank you very much, Oluwatosi. We've noted your points, and hopefully those interested have heard this, but we can make it a topic another day so that we can focus on it. Any comments for our guests?
Hafsa A on YouTube says, court is not emotion. No matter how glaring the case, you must be able to prove it. That is why the statue is blindfolded. You can't see what you're seeing, only what you are able to defend.
Yeah, the 25% for the FCT for me was something I wanted cleared. But I'm also asking if this is being challenged and they're looking towards Supreme Court, is it that the tribunal was not clear enough on this for them, or are there any loopholes that could make the interpretation?
You see, for this kind of thing, especially in this part of the world, we don't we don't just accept defeat at times. You understand? Until we get there. But on the issue of interpretation of FCT and all that, I can tell you that even like the tribunal said, there is no distinction between votes. Votes in Lagos State is not superior to the votes in Ondo. The votes in Kogi is not superior to the votes in Abuja. So if you are now elevating Abuja to BO, he must score. The constitution said 25 for 2/3. Now, 2/3 of 25 rather of the taxi state. Now, 25% of 2/3 of the states. Now, if you are now saying it must be Abuja, specifically when he has met it in other states, means we are making Abuja to be, to have assumed another dimension, to have reached a kind of pedestal that is higher than other, or that the votes in Abuja are more superior to other votes of the
Let me take this call from Muhyiddin, calling from Abuja. Thanks for calling, Muhyiddin.
Thank you. Good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Good
morning.
I think I want to commend the industry of Justice of the Supreme Court. Of course, was yesterday. They really dissected and.
I'm having difficulty hearing you, Muhyiddin. Could you speak louder, please? Hello, Muhyiddin. Okay, the gentleman that stood up in court, what was exactly his issue? What was the...
You see, it's a very funny one. Unfortunately, he's a very senior lawyer. Although, you see, he apologized at the end of this, one of the most celebrated lawyers around. When judgment is being given, in fact, what they do, the practice, you can't enter again, and you can't go out. So if you are not ready, you don't come in. Once the judge starts to read this judgment, because you don't just distract. In fact, they will shut you down. If you want to come in, most of the time when they are delivering the judge, they close the door. Those who have entered cannot go out. Those who are inside, they are there. You understand? So by you can't. I have never seen it before. Wow. In fact, I'm seeing it for the first time. Wow. You understand? It's a huge, blunder. It's a huge blunder. I have never seen it as young as I am. Yes, you can't.
How long did they read the judgment for?
Yeah, they read it for 12 hours, 30 minutes.
They read that, so you are not allowed to go in and come out.
This is the this election matter. I have seen a situation whereby if they stand up there and go inside and come back, they will say they have gone to doctor the judgment. I have seen it before, where something happened and the judges sat, they took 1 or 2 cases, they went back. They came back and took another case. They now delivered the governorship and later. The next thing people were saying was that they went and rewrote the thing. You understand? When they are giving the judgment, like the man who says is confused, that is why there is appeal. You go there after the judgment has been completed. You say, my Lord, we thank you. In fact, you have to thank them. Whether you lose or you lose, it's only some cultures are creeping into our practice. Whether you have lost or you have won, you will stand up and say, thank you, my Lord, for the judgment. You have to appreciate them. We can see what they have done. Justice Ugo was saying that the quote and unquote favored candidate scored, less than one, certain percentage of this thing in the East. And in Lagos, they also want that if there is anybody who is lucky, it should be the Labour Party and all that. And that INEC must be a bad manipulator for them to have made their favored candidate to lose in some of those states, even in their own state. So those are the things that are there. They are very complex. Election matter is very complex.
One of the core things that the opposition parties were trying to prove was that INEC promised that the IREV would transmit results electronically.
Yes.
It might not be in your act, as they're saying, but the guidelines provided by INEC, shouldn't that have helped for something in this case?
You see, let me tell you, man, some of these things, yes, INEC said it, but the law gave them the power, the latitude to bring rules. They can change the rule away. They have brought out the guidelines. Now, if they have discovered some errors, or that the machine put in place is not working, or was not working, or functioning not very well as they thought, or that some of their members, if they have been compromised, or there are some logistical issues, do you mean they should still go on and use the same thing? It may be worse than where we are now. So they still have the right to say, oh, we are not doing it this way. We are doing it this way. That latitude cannot be changed. The power to mar and to make lies with them. That is why the returning officer, another person cannot declare, like on that day, if the chairman of INEC should just say, oh, I'm not declaring the result, heaven will not fall. Because the law gave him the power. He must be the one to say the last word. That, oh, you are the winner or you are the loser. People don't know. Nobody can come and do the job for him. There will be an issue. So those are the things. We don't do it, but we like to criticize more in this part of the world.
This really makes me, I really appreciate that. My said it earlier, but I didn't really catch it. But I think now I'm even appreciating lawyers a bit more based on all this. It's just interesting to
better appreciate Nima.
Appreciate Nima better. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to be going on the break. But let me take a few comments on social media before we run. But I think in a nutshell, how would you therefore advise Nigerians to take this judgment, going forward? Because
whether to those who are not satisfied, in every contest, there must be a loser and there must be a winner. And if it's not your turn today, don't be angry. And some things are sacrosanct. Even in America, they found the case of Bush and Gore. They found a lot of lapses in the decision, but they could not nullify the election. 3 of the judges abstained. They wrote a minority judgment saying that the election was not okay and all that. But still, they didn't nullify. With my little experience, I think it's only in Kenya some time ago that nullified the presidential election. And Buhari and INEC, so you see every election year, the INEC has been reviewing their laws, its law, so that it can work perfectly to the system. But the issue of electronic voting, I wouldn't think whether we are mature for it yet. Even like we are saying here, my association, the Nigerian Association, who claim or we believe we are the most learned, we have conducted 2 elections on electronic voting. We are still in court today. The first one is still in court. The second one is still in court. People say they rig it. They will say by 12 o'clock we are seeing very party votes. By 4 o'clock, some deluge of vote will just come in. We are seeing it. So if they can't do it with the NBA, lawyers, NBA, in court. Now let us come and see Nigeria.
Sorry, talking about NBA. Recently, you guys have been trending. First of all, you bought Pasuma. Is it Pasuma?
Yeah.
So portable. To your party. Were you there? I
was there, yeah.
Did you enjoy the...
No. It's like there's this guy, one posh guy, very, clean guy. He said, even I myself, with my status as a musician, I am not qualified to play in that kind of gathering. You understand? No, he was one of the old stars. Okay. But I think it's the height of it is unfortunate. It's unfortunate to do that because, like I think you were the one that said it. Oh, I think you were the one. About it's not a liberal profession. That's all. It's either you fit in or you are not. In law school, you dare not wear a skirt that is not below your knee. Yes. And you see people, religiously following it. If you want to wear native, it must be with cap. They allow native, but it must be with cap, properly dressed. So it's a very serious, you can't see a business card color everywhere.
But maybe they wanted you to just let down your hair. Maybe think about removing the wig or something.
Well, it was funny. People did find it funny. People started driving out, in anger. A lot of them.
It was an embarrassment.
It is. You believe that?
Did you live in anger?
I didn't even stay for 1 minute after.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't. It's not worth it because what message is it passing? If I were to be without dressing you in borrowed robes. If it were to be the day of Fela and Nikulapo and they brought him, he used to pass message. You understand? We can pick one or two things there. Lucky Dube or something, or people even in Nigeria, fast, and the rest of them, we can see. We understand. We are not demarketing anybody, however, but everybody has a brand. Everybody has a brand that he stands for. Others have a brand that lawyers stand for something, but they fell for another thing. That is just the truth of it.
Let me let you go. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. We just had some clarity on the tribunal, shed some light. But it's always good for us to hear from professionals like you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go on our break. When we return, we're going to our regular Thursday gist. I think we have one small family gist to just jump in. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
It was great.
Okay,
thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I will drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Thanks for staying with us. So we'll try to have a few minutes left for just our regular Thursday gisting. So on social media, there was a story of young ladies, I think single ladies, praying in church in their wedding gowns, activating their faiths because they wanted to get married. And the whole video went viral. People criticizing them, saying that it reeks of desperation. Why are people praying for husbands and stuff like that? What are your thoughts on this? Because it's something that for those of us who go to church, we see often sometimes where, men and women, especially women who are hoping to get married, are called forward for prayer, special prayers. But in this case, they were asked to bring a wedding gown to church, and they dressed in their gowns, activating their faith, hoping that would help. When you saw the video, what came to mind? You see, I'll be calling you first now.
You come
I just laughed, and I laughed because when we teach manifestation, these are some of the things we teach. We teach people to feel it forward, right? And sometimes we realize that it's not the thing you're looking for, that it's not the thing itself that is going to give you joy. That's not what you really want. You want the feeling of the thing. You want to have money. For what? To be able to buy things and feel good about it, right? But you can learn to feel it like it's already there before it now finally comes into manifestation. So if their pastor says, you want to get married, you have been praying, you have been working hard, now I want you to take another step of faith to feel like it's already happened. There's nothing wrong in it. It's just what they are teaching, what they believe in, and it may seem to other people who perceive it or who watch it as desperation, but you really don't know how much I manifest some of the things I have today, what sort of things I do to manifest. It's just that I did not call a church to say we have to do this for you to see, but I know that for me to be able to get to a certain place, I have to put myself in that shoe. Now they have to do their own physically. Sometimes we do it in meditation, we visualization, fantastic. We visualize it, we see ourselves, we practice how you laugh when you have the thing, how you will act when you have the thing, how you will look when you have the thing, how you will dress when you have that thing you're desiring to have. And now these people are doing their own physically. There's nothing wrong in it. And I really didn't like why it came under a lot of criticism, because if you're not there, if you don't wear that shoe,
God bless you.
Please don't judge anybody.
Thank you. What are your thoughts, Mariam? Why Mariam, who wants to go first?
Mariam. Okay, I didn't like it. I felt that that once again, religion has taken people's desperation or need for something and made like a drama out of it. It just came to me, it was too dramatic for me. The dressing up in the outfit itself. I mean, you could do the same prayers without having to dress. I just felt like it was theatrical. It was too much. It will not, I don't know anything about God, I'm not God's spokesperson, but I feel that He hears your words, He knows your heart. And when you pray to Him, He hears you. I don't know about the dressing up and coming to church like that. I just feel it just did not sit right with me. I'm open to learning, what the right thing is, but it just didn't sit well with me. It's okay to have the dream to get married. That's fine. But also, I feel that in doing that, concentrate on yourself, building yourself mentally, spiritually, financially. to have them dress up for me just felt like you were dramatizing it, making almost a mockery for me of where they were. There's no way that God would not listen if those women had come together to just have their prayers normally without having to wear that dress.
Right. What I thought, because some people will tell you that I have prayed, I have fasted, I've trusted God, but taking a step further in activating my faith is, for me, I believe, oh, this is something I should do to believe, to see myself to feel that moment. So I guess, as Busy said, it depends on who you are and what appeals to you, resonates with you. YK, what are your thoughts on the video?
For me, looking at the video, it looks like a horror movie.
You go the other way.
I mean, I just watched the video and I'm like,
why?
I mean, why are you wearing wedding dresses when there is no man? You know, it's, to me, that desperation. Is that oh, no, I thought they were showing the video. I was, I wanted to watch it on the big TV.
Yes.
So, you know, have you watched that Stepford Wives?
Yes, Stepford Wives.
It's like a horror movie. Stepford Wives is like a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I see it. I don't.
Maybe they shouldn't have recorded it. Maybe it should have been a private meeting, because these are, you see, as I said,
it's not about recording, Mariah.
But is the fact that we see the visuals, that it looks like a.
As you are alive, can you go and sleep in a coffin?
I would do that.
You don't want to. It's like a horror movie.
Okay, you get your point. But I think,
is it because they bury people in their wedding dress?
No, you don't do things. To me, I would rather pray if I'm desperate to get married. I would rather pray. I would rather pray my own prayer, not prayer.
Well, it works for some people. Let's forget the fact that some people have activated their faith this way, and they've received their answers. So some people,
their answers would have come whether they've dressed.
Well, we don't know that.
You don't know that.
So I'm just saying there are different ways of looking at it.
I find to be almost in the same line as those who are giving insecticide to take because it will cleanse them. You know, they'll give them soap or something like that to drink so that it will cleanse them from within, because God, or those religious leaders that will simulate a sexual activity with people so that they could get pregnant. That's how I see it. I feel that we're taking advantage of people in their desperation.
Exactly.
To create drama. That's how it comes across to me.
I disagree with that. I don't see it as, so there are two different things. If what you're doing is hurting you and hurting somebody else, and you are forced to do it, so like those ones that you tell to come and drink kerosene or something, you know that kerosene is harmful. So that is hurting you and hurting your family members at the end of the day. But putting on a dress is not hurting anybody. You use your money to buy the dress. And I also believe in freedom of expression. So we worship in different ways.
So will they buy another dress if they get married?
Hold on first. They can buy, they can keep this one. It depends. We worship in different ways. We express in different ways. We have the Igbe people who will wear their white and dance around for whatever they want to have and their way of worship. We don't condemn that. That's their style. Now, though in Christianity, we like things to be very simple, you know, talk to your God and all of that. We've seen people who would stand and shout their prayers as if God is deaf. And then they get their answers. And we see people who sit down quietly and just do their prayer and they get their answers. So it depends on how you are, how you express. And if you say, okay, I want to bring my, take for instance, vision boarding. So there's something we teach in coaching, which is pick pictures of things you want to be, your dreams. For instance, the car that you aspire to have. Put it in front of your mirror or put it in front of your wardrobe and see it every morning and pass and, you know, speak to it. This is my car. This is this. We all do that. I have a vision board. And so far, so good. All the things I put, in fact, I need a new vision board because I've achieved everything I put in the first vision board. I need to do another one. If I go outside and I put the vision board everywhere, they will say this is doing something else. Or why God can hear you. Why do you have to put the picture and be looking at it? But that is my way of.
But your vision board. Wait, I must ask you before I forget. That vision board that you put, did you go and paste it in the church?
No, so I'm not a pastor. I don't run a church. If I am a pastor,
these ones are not pastors now.
No, hold on. They're in the church. It was an instruction in the church. Let's pray this prayer. Wear this to show that we are ready to receive this. Probably when Holy Spirit sees you on the dress, they will now bring the husband. And they decided to go for it. I'm sure a lot more people in that church said, I can't do this one, and they went away. But we must not judge the act because it's not hurting anybody.
We didn't judge them.
Let me take this call. Wedding cake, I think that they had to cut. I don't.
Did they cut a wedding cake?
Yes. Let me take Obi from Akute. Thanks for calling.
You need to be circumspect.
Hello.
Obi, you're live. Beautiful women. Welcome.
Thank you.
God bless you. Please, I want to comment on the women that wore wedding gowns.
Yes.
Please, it's not by force for somebody to marry. God has ordained every woman to have a husband. Why they wish themselves well, they should not go to the extent of wearing wedding gowns. Because wearing wedding gowns, like Yemi said, it makes it horror as if what is going on in Nigeria. We are Africans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I understand the part where seeing a picture of a hall full of women in wedding gowns can look very funny, you know, and I see the fact that I think it was Father Ugu, I think, let me get his name here. Father Kelvin Ugu expressed disgust at the viral video of ladies wearing wedding gowns. He said that this is not Christian, it's disgusting. He said that they are offering wedding prayer testing events for husbands. Now, let's come to the issue of the desperation of getting married. That even if you as an individual, you desperately want to get married, should your pastor therefore build on that or feed on that desperation?
To create a day.
To create a nice so if you look at it that way, that, okay, yes, I'm desperate, I want to get married because I want to settle down, I feel like I've achieved all I want to achieve, but it's just a spouse thing. But should I therefore go to an event where my pastor is now saying, okay, Kuku, bring your wedding gown, let us pray to God about it? Do you think that was appropriate?
As I said, I don't think it was appropriate. Many churches already know that they have singles in there, and they do so many programs where you're talking about singles, all the things you need to do before you get there, the single women, the single men. I don't know if they're going to do grooms dressed like that and dancing.
That would be nice to see.
You know, so it's not.
Why is it women that they do it for?
And then there's a cake, and then where's the man? Where's the man beside them?
They're there to manifest the man.
Where's the...
No, see.
What if you go and manifest arm robber?
No, I don't think that's why.
So let's ignore the act and get the significance of what they are.
No, it's the act we are talking about. We understand the significance, and we understand that people have desires, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married. It's a beautiful thing. Many people are enjoying marriages, but I just feel that do not put, you know, when you have a group of single women, this is what they talk about, and then you're like, I know what to give you. Put on your, go and look for wedding dresses, put them on, and come and pray. When there are so many other things you can be doing, all the counseling classes, all those.
But I've heard of stories of this. Go ahead. I'll come to you, BC. Let me take this call. Right. Kilani calling from Otta. Good morning, Kilani. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yes, ma'am. Women are funny because women are very funny. What we are seeing is that there's an horror film. I just have to say, men too, that are looking for a wife, they go and put on food, and because they want to do it, you know.
All right.
I think that when we say,
thank you very much, Kilani. Go ahead.
There are people they tell to go and bathe in the river. We don't see it, we don't hear it. It's a way of manifesting, right? So let me ask this question. If you're a pastor in a church and 80% of your women come to you to pray for them to get married, all the problem they want to solve, they are good though, they have self-esteem, they have confidence, they are big bosses in their offices, they are doing well, they are paying good tithes, they have money, and all they come to you is, pray for me, I want to get married. Pastor, I want to get married. Pastor, my relationship is not working. Pastor,
you are solving a problem.
Yes, won't you be thinking of, okay, what are the best ways? What else can I do? We have done it's part of it.
You prayed, you fasted.
You have fasted. What else? What else? How do I get these people to visualize this thing? How do I get them to see it? You know, see those things that be not as though they were. How do I get
They
there?
have to dress it.
My sister.
You cannot teach them.
Without a man, no.
The faith that we talk about as tiny as a mustard seed, it now requires me to dress the mustard seed
If you want to get a contract, if you want to get a contract, if you want to get a contract now, you say bring a contract document.
I would not like to see my daughter in
No,
that
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
activity.
no, no.
So what are we saying? What are we saying? I would like to hear that my daughter will wear.
See, I did not do
Case closed.
and I still got married. Right? But I will not.
As a coach, would you have a group of young girls, your daughter included, dressed like this to manifest?
I'm not a pastor.
I'm asking as a coach. Yes, as a coach, you do vision board.
But I will do this type. I will not do this type.
But as a coach, wait. You see, as a coach, if I have 5, 6 private people, we're not putting on social media.
Yeah.
We call ourselves, you call them their wedding dresses in their houses, and we are praying and trusting God. I can activate my faith. However, don't judge. Just like this guy was going to church and we're posting it. It's a private thing. I know some people that have done it in the past and they've gotten married. Some men too have activated their wives and they have gotten.
They are giving us fabu. They have gone now fabu.
You need to. It's not the first time. It's not the first time. We've seen it. I think about last year or so. Why can't
if they got that wedding dress and as they go it like this, the man just stood beside them, bam, and they marry them immediately. Even then, I will still say, "Na spirit work that way." I will say, "Na spirit."
Miracle, no, they tire Jesus.
No. You must give your manifestation time. You must give it time to manifest. There's a
okay, can I ask you a question?
In the manifestation.
If they don't find husband in the next 5 years,
Their faith is not strong enough.
The wedding dress from Dubai. Maybe the dress was not good enough.
People are terrible.
they have to go to India. Like
listen, we have to go. We have to go. But I think
new wedding dress from India.
It does. Okay, we point. So yes. You see, the world. Yes, you must appreciate and pray. When I saw that video, the first thing I'd say was that Father Lord Almighty, their prayer answered them. That was the first thing that came to mind. Father God Almighty answered these people according to their heart's desire. God bless them. That's what they need. If that's their own issue. Some women are dying for contracts. Some are dying for they want to buy more houses. But then what's her name? Tope wants 40 houses by 40.
She had a vision.
Yeah, so these are people who are doing very so according to your prayer. May God answer you. Amen. That is all we can take on today's show. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm coming tomorrow.
Bye for now.